Here we are, and welcome to a Rosh Hashana New Year Emmy review edition of the Friday Night Movie Podcast. Becky, how are you doing today?
Well, I know that we agreed to never talk about anything timely or relevant on this or important on this show, but I do have it does cross over into pop culture. I am doing well. I'd say it was a very meaningful Rosh Hashanah because we on the first night of Rosh Hashanah, after we found out about Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg's passing, we watched the documentary about her, and we had like a really nice.
That was our
Really
plan
nice chat.
too. We
Yeah.
didn't do it, but that was our plan.
So I'll tell you.
We're going to show it to the
The-
kids.
The new
I
baby
think it's
trumpet.
great to show to the kids. I was going to say that. So I've actually seen it before, and I do think it's a film worth watching at least a couple of times because they cover so much about her life, which you also realize is only a drop in the bucket of her life. That even though I'd seen it before, I couldn't keep track of all of these important cases that she either brought to the Supreme Court or that she litigated in her career or that she I guess presided over as a justice. So it was so great to watch it again and have a reminder of all of these incredible fights that she has been a part of in her life, and it kind of made for kicking off a very thoughtful holiday, especially right now, with all that's going on in this country, but around the world. So it was a bit, it was sad, obviously, but watching that film was a really great reminder of, I don't know, of everything she did and everything we can do. So I'm feeling pretty good today.
I kind of, I think that's such a great reflection, and it's important to be grateful for all she's done. I know people are really upset for good reason and worried for good reason, but to take a breath and also just appreciate everything we got from her. I also really appreciate the pop cultureification of a badass Jewish bubby.
Bubby, there's actually a part in the documentary. Her granddaughter plays a bit of a role in the doc, and talks about how she's the Supreme Court justice and she's this figure to all these people, but she's also just our Bubby. To me, she's Bubby, and it's so grounding and sweet. And as a Jewish woman, it makes me extremely, extremely proud.
Yeah,
I think it's a wonderful, light, to shine on
actually,
Jewish women.
I usually talk about donations and supporting groups at the end of the show, but I'll just say that our family made a donation to the National Council of Jewish Women, who is doing a campaign to honor Ruth Bader Ginsburg and the values that organization, led by an amazing CEO, Sheila Katz, who's one of those people who embodies the next generation of Jewish leaders. They are doing a campaign to honor Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and that was where we.
And I will say that one of the centers of the conversation that we had about her was her temperament and how she fought for the things that she believed in, and that she really did believe that you fight for the things you believe in, but you do it in a way that leads others to join you, right? That's one of her, I don't know if I'm quoting it verbatim, but that is more or less one of the things that she said. And you watch her temperament in the film and you hear people, give testimony about what she is like. And a reminder to someone, especially like myself, who has been known on occasion to get a little fiery.
Oh yeah, I was going to make this joke before you cut to the. I was already going to figure out how do I make a joke about Becky's temperament, but I guess you're
how
already on top of it.
effective you can be, and you really see it in today of how inflamed everything is in the media, and that we can actually probably be far more effective if we are patient and we take time to listen and plan out our arguments and do it in a way that is, like she talks about bringing people over to join you and to see your side and to be educated and to take all of these opportunities, every single case you build step by step towards your goal and your mission. And you do it in a way that educates people. And it was just such an important reminder. So I'm feeling sad, but inspired, and hopefully I will internalize these lessons and grow more in the direction of RBG and be that
Well,
sort of
I think that's a perfect segue
example.
into our Emmy discussion, which our Emmy discussion we'll talk about a lot of different exciting things. But I think whereas we see the amazing honoring of this incredible, impactful Jewish bubby, I think we were all pleased to see the marvelous Mrs. Maisel finally not win. Like,
I
did they
gotta
win
tell you,
no
you guys
awards
have
this year?
won me over to your side of the aisle with that show. I'm in
Yeah, that
full
show.
agreement.
I do not like that show.
I'm
I like
done.
as it's
I'm
gone
done with the
on, I've liked it
caricature.
less. It's too much. But we were thrilled to see that Schitt's Creek. I mean, this was the good news the world needed, right? I mean, you could see Twitter explode. Although, okay, I'm glad Schitt's Creek won. As I said in our previous episodes, there are a few folks that I hope if they're not going to win this year, they're going to win in the future, because I really would like to see Don Cheadle win for Black Monday at some point. But it was amazing to see them all sweep together because they're such a family.
Yeah,
It's true. I mean, like,
And
it
I
could
didn't
have
watch
been
the
spread
Emmys because
out.
and when you talk about
it could have
portrayal
been-
of Jews from Maisel versus Schitt's Creek, I gotta tell you, there's one I'm much more comfortable with, and one I'm much more proud of.
Well, and also the fact that I think Schitt's Creek could have been spread out over the seasons of the show. It's not like they were particularly brilliant in the last season. They've been brilliant, I think, since day one. If they weren't going to get recognized until the end, then let them sweep. But there were other people that could have been acknowledged this year.
yeah.
If
So
you're wondering what that sound is,
Yeah, no,
is it
it's
your baby eating?
it's the glorious sound of a baby with a pacifier.
Wow,
in
so
their
we're
mouth.
the first podcast ever to have live pacifier noises.
But
I think because it's so obvious how much we're happy for Schitt's Creek, I almost need to move by it and look. Who would you like to see win next year? That's on this list. If you could hold someone over on the assumption that we all are so happy that Schitt's Creek won, Catherine O'Hara, Daniel Levy winning in two categories.
There's three.
It's Levy.
Categories.
Levy.
And it's in.
If it's from Canada, it's Levy. Okay.
They called. They announced his name. They said Daniel Levy. But I think it's Levy.
You know who I think? I can't think of her. I have to look up her name, but the supporting actress from Insecure, the one that plays Molly. I would love to see her win.
She was
I would
nominated.
love to see her. She was nominated this year, and I think she was. I think in this last season she was particularly
Yvonne
great.
Orji.
Yeah, but it's funny. She's nominated
Orji,
she's nominated in a comedy category, but I think she really for me it's a dramatic role, even though there's comedy in it.
Maybe they could switch place with Stranger Things,
right?
Which is nominated as a drama,
but it should be a comedy. But then again, I think Issa Rae is perfect for as a comedic role. So it's a bit because of the type of show it is. Although I would say Insecure is a drama. I feel like it's a drama that has some comedic elements to it, but it's not
right.
Well, I feel the same way about Glow, and I will say Betty Gilpin in Glow this year, she drove that series. I thought that Glow season was like the best.
She was great.
Best season, and part of it had to do with how great her character was, raising all of that up. I think, like I said, Issa Rae, I would have liked. If she's not going to win now, hopefully she'll win later.
Right. To me, Tracy Ellis Ross. I'd love to see her win.
Oh, she has not. She hasn't won for Blackish yet. Okay, that would.
I don't. I don't know. I don't think so.
No,
I don't know. Actually, I don't think so.
Either.
But she'd be up against Issa Rae, so maybe that cancels out your win.
No, but Tracy Ellis Ross is awesome. Also.
Yeah, and I would love to see Applegate win for this next season's the last of Dead to Me, and I think she's fantastic in that. I'd love to see her win.
It's too bad because didn't Darcy Carden win something before for?
No, but this was it. I think. No, I don't think
for Good Place, because she's also really,
Did she win a
really
Golden
great.
Globe for
I feel
Good
like she won a Golden Globe.
Or was she nominated for an Emmy, and that was what was exciting?
I don't know.
What was exciting.
She was nominated for an Emmy, but Annie Murphy won.
Right. So it's one of the things where it's too bad there isn't another season or that she wasn't recognized sooner, because I think she's particularly
brilliant as Janet.
really, really great in Good Place. And could have, definitely would deserve a win. But Annie Murphy, I think like that's one of those characters where it's really easy to overlook it and not appreciate her character and the chops it takes to play Alexis. And that while Alexis is this, vain, superficial person, she also does have a lot of heart and depth, and just her like, "Ooh, David," like these catchphrases that she has created through her little expressions
her growth is also really important to that show working. Mm-hmm. Her growth from her original character till now. I will say the one that I guess RuPaul's Drag Race is a great show. I'm not super familiar with it, but I really, really wanted Nicole Byer to win for Nailed It for Outstanding.
Oh, I know.
That show is and Becky, you get the I Told You show for that because I'd never heard of that show before you showed it to us.
But is it the show that was nominated or the host?
The host is nominated.
Well, she was nominated. I guess the show was nominated too, maybe?
No. She's nominated as the host. It's like being nominated as Best Actor or whatever.
Yeah, she was nominated as a host, and Nailed It was nominated as a show. RuPaul's Drag Race won both, which, fine, RuPaul is a legend, but I really wanted to see Nicole Byer win because of that show has been such a huge part.
And she's a great host
of our experience during quarantine. We watch that show all the time. My kids, we've made homemade versions of the show. My kids, like, if they could like, among the list of people they want to aspire to be like, it's like Nicole Byer is up there on the list. And so I think it means a lot to them it would have meant a lot to them to see them win. And then on the drama side, I think I was going to ask Shay,
does these list of winners or nominees make you feel like you have to watch Succession or something, even though you hate like rich white people who just complain about
No. That's I don't mind shows like Billions. I don't like suburban misery shows like Big Little
Lies. I don't know if these are suburban. These are like
billionaire misery.
It's more of a show like Billions, though. It's Game of Thrones, but with money. I'm interested in that show. I just haven't gotten around to it.
I have to say, I've seen a couple episodes. I had a really hard time with it, but I think if I was in the right place, I would really, really love it. But I just was not in a place. I just was not in a place of having patience to watch really, really rich people. And he's amazing in it. He's amazing in it. But to watch really, really rich people be like miserable to each other. But I did after the second episode, I really did appreciate actually how great the acting is and how well made it is. And I probably will go back and watch it. But at the time, I just was like, no, you're not important to me.
And I would say if there were, as much as I was excited about the Schitt's Creek sweep, Regina King winning for Watchmen is the one that
Watchmen won a bunch.
She has won 4 Emmys, I think, in the last few years.
And an Oscar.
She is
true.
Just wow.
She's amazing.
The force.
She is amazing, and
I have to
Beck,
say,
you haven't seen Watchmen yet, right? You're sort of working.
Vlad and I have time to watch like one episode every 2 weeks of a show, and then
that's going to be a hard show to watch in time between episodes.
A lot of time we get really confused. We have to go back. We have to stop and read stuff on the internet. We have to call people. Like, it's been hard, but what I've seen so far, I really, really love, and we love her. Plus, you had us watching The Boys the other day, so Vlad gave up 4 episode times to watch The Boys with me. So,
well, that's fair.
But talking about Watchmen, I feel like Lou Gossett Jr. should have won over the guy that played Dr. Manhattan or whatever. The Yahya Abdul Mateen II, who played Cal Abar. I just feel like Lou Gossett was so much better. I don't know. Maybe because I just didn't like the character that much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that. I mean, that again, my attitude towards Dr. Manhattan is very much wrapped up in the fact that if you think about the whole Watchmen story, Dr. Manhattan coming back and finding his soul and finding love is such an awesome resolution to that story. That
sure, I just don't think the acting was like that was Emmy worthy. I didn't watch that performance and go.
Look, you can give Lou Gossett an Emmy award for like a dialysis commercial if you want to. I mean, he's one of the great actors of our time. So.
Right, exactly.
So I
Yes,
like the
you're
idea
right.
of seeing a different actor win. How do you feel, Lily? It looks
Hey.
like someone from Ozark won. Is that good?
Hold on. Oh, I'm not on mute. Just kidding.
Yay.
Yes, Julia Gardner. She's fantastic. She, like, you have Bateman and Linney in the show who are great, and Laura Linney really like outdoes herself. I think this season she's like steps it up a notch. But to be able to go toe to toe and like raise the bar of like intensity and vulnerability, and she's so young, like she's phenomenal. She's gonna be, I'm not saying she's gonna be Meryl Streep, but like she has, and you saw her in Dirty John Shy, like she has a range and a talent
Who is she in
that
Dirty
is
John?
exciting.
She plays Tara.
The younger
other
sister.
the
Yeah.
younger
Younger
sister.
daughter. Oh yeah, she was really good in that.
And so she's fantastic in Ozarks, and
You know what I just
that's a really tough category. She's got Sandra Oh in that category, and Jodie Comer, and like a bunch of other people.
guys,
Laura
I'm looking
Dern,
at this
right?
list and
Meryl Streep. She was up against Meryl Streep.
that's bananas.
Samira
Imagine.
Wiley, who's incredible. Helena Bonham Carter. Actually,
Wow.
that's pretty impressive. But yeah, I'm not saying that like Meryl doesn't deserve it. She always deserves it. But Julia Garner was amazing in this season.
I do feel like there's too many categories or shows when like the morning show is winning awards.
I just feel like there's a lot. This is what I'm saying. There's a lot of Emmys. They really love to subcategorize. And on that note, outstanding guest actress in a comedy series, Maya Rudolph, who deserves all the awards always, was nominated twice in one category. She was against
that
herself.
Works. That works for me. Which one did she win for?
She won for Saturday Night Live, but she was also nominated for The Good Place. But I feel like she totally deserves it, and she deserves all of the nominations and all of the awards. So I feel like in that case, the subcategory really
also
out.
By the way, she won for voiceover for Big Mouth also. So she won.
She's so funny.
She's so great. But I would say I don't know what, I didn't follow SNL this year, but I would have given her for The Good Place. The judge was so great. The Timothy Olyphant bit as the judge. The Timothy Olyphant judge bit.
Guys, they gave her that SNL one because they're like, please come back to SNL for her when she wins. But then Kamala Harris wins vice presidency.
Yeah,
we just come on. Like
okay.
we need you to do the bit
on The Good Place with her thing with the burrito or burritos. I just remember like laughing so hard.
Timothy Olyphant was outstanding. That whole shtick.
Neither of you guys have watched all of Justified, right?
No, but I like an Oliphant situation. I'd see it.
Well, I feel like let's wrap up our Emmy conversation. Are there any final thoughts or things that you all have to reflect on in terms of the Emmys for this year or for next year or just in general? I feel like this is one of the years where the Emmys really weren't a disaster. It's amazing what they can do when they don't give all the awards to Modern Family.
Family is what to say, yeah. Yeah, I have one note, which is that I'm also happy that Schitt's Creek is over and they can't get nominated again next year, because I wouldn't want it to become a Modern Family situation where then all of a sudden they just start winning by default and people aren't appreciating the real artistry that's in there. So I feel like not only is it awesome that they swept, but I'm happy that they are going out on a high note. Done. They can all move on to something new.
I also feel like the show was in general more tolerable. I feel like next year it should be on Zoom too, even if there's no pandemic.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of things that are
really well, and it was so fun seeing like all the people at home and like people hanging out together. I mean, the
think about the carbon footprint.
That.
Think about the carbon footprint we saved by not having
these
Emmys.
award shows,
right? Like just the red carpet, I'm sure like took a year off the Earth's life.
Right. And I just felt like the stars were like all the celebrities or whatever were like relaxed at home, and I don't know. And I thought it was funnier and just like more enjoyable and more real. That being said, the monologue was like, I feel like written last night before, or the night before, like very basic.
I have not.
Shtick.
I admit I did not watch the broadcast. So because if it didn't go well and all the people I thought was going to win were going to win, it was it wasn't going to work. Okay.
Oh yeah, wait, sorry. One last quick thought. I have not watched Euphoria. I don't really ever want to see it. But that being said, I'm really happy Zendaya won because she is awesome in everything else I've seen her in. So I imagine she must have been really great in that. So there we go. But I'm not going to watch the show. It's like a bandwagon. I'll be on the bandwagon. I just don't. I feel like it'd be upsetting.
It's like, yeah, really intense, but apparently it's amazing.
Not right now. Maybe a different moment, but at this moment, I can't.
Zendaya is pretty awesome.
Is it Zendaya or Zendaya? I'm pretty sure it's Zendaya.
I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Zendaya? I can only.
I want to say Daya, which is why I'm saying Daya, because I'm assuming I would pronounce it.
Have you guys seen that meme thing? Zendaya is Michi. It's I'll send it to you. It's just some weird. I don't even know what it is. If someone hears this and can explain what it is to me, but it's just one of those absurd.
Our new podcast. Save it for the new podcast.
Oh yeah, exactly. Becky explains the internet. The other thing that's important now, it is the Rosh Hashana season, and I don't know if a lot of people know that Rosh Hashana, while it is the Jewish New Year, it actually kicks off the 10 days. I feel like these are final sweepstakes because you really should be atoning all year round, but these are the 10 final days before the quote-unquote Book of Life is closed, where you really have to make up for your sins and apologize to people and apologize, face-to-face or Zoom-to-Zoom if you can. And I thought it would be great for us to use this time to make some pop culture apologies. For example, if I were Ryan Johnson, I would be pop culture apologizing to me for The Last Jedi. But in my case, my pop culture apology for Rosh Hashana goes to none other than Josh Crew, because I relentlessly make fun of his taste and many other things about him and pass that on to my children. But he was right on The Last Kingdom. Lily was right on The Last Kingdom too, but Josh was really all over The Last Kingdom, even though he does deserve to be made fun of for his bizarre like of things that are Vikings. And the other thing is his, I often make fun of his willingness to watch any dopey sci-fi show with a number and or a random place in it, Babylon 5, The 100, the Stargate SG-1, Galaxy, Galactica. But The Expanse, which he recommended, is really growing on me. I'm well into the second season now, and I'm like, the show might actually be pretty good. So, Josh, I apologize to you in this Rosh Hashanah season for the relentless mockery that I put upon you. How about you, Beck and Lil? Any apologies?
Oh, my kid's quiet, so I'm going next. I'm going to apologize for doing something much more insidious than straight up making fun of Josh. Mom suggested a show, and I did something worse where I was like, yeah, I'll watch it, when you're not going to watch it. And I feel like that's like straight up deception, show deception, where you pretend you're going to watch something and the person gets excited, and then you're like, I'm never watching that Drek. However, I had deeply and sincerely apologized to Mom because not only did I end up watching the show, but I love it. And she gets a major I Told You show. And I highly recommend this to
I feel guilty if
Becky.
Mom recommends me a show like even The Magicians, which I do not want to see. That's on the Mom and Josh Island. I do feel guilty that I haven't watched it just because Mom's asked me to watch it.
So yeah, I was like, yeah, sure, whatever, Mom. And then she did one of those things where I didn't have any hands free, and I have a new baby, so she put it on, and I didn't have a choice.
It's a great movie.
I ended up loving it, and it's on Amazon. I want to say it's on Amazon Prime, I think. It's The Durrells. It's called The Durrells in Carfu.
Oh, yeah. The Dursleys, the Dursleys of Pompeii, I call it.
It's a terrible name for a show. It's based on a book. If you want to call your book that, go right ahead. But it's not a great name for a show, so it wasn't really my fault. But if you're missing that sort of delicious Downton,
I'm definitely
flavor. No, it's not at all like Downton. It's much funnier. It's much more joyful. It's much more, it's much. I think it's better than Downton in a lot of ways. If you're missing that Masterpiece Theater element, because it's from Masterpiece Theater, and that music at the beginning, I highly recommend it. It's about a a single mom with 4 kids who are hilarious characters in England in the 30s, and they just pick up and move to Greece. Maybe I can identify or something with that.
Oh,
Right?
okay. I see what you mean.
They pick up and move to Corfu, which doesn't have any electricity, and there's all these hilarious characters.
If you were Allie, who Mom always recommends this to,
Mom,
and just
Allie's gonna
doesn't
love this
watch it.
show. Allie's making a mistake. She should next year she'll have to repent for not watching it.
All right, that's
because I feel very sheepish for giving Mom a hard time.
And I want, just so you know, I'm demanding apology from Josh because he finally watched Avatar Airbender and made it was great. I'm really like messing up this atonement thing. I'm like insulting people as I'm apologizing and demanding apologies from them.
You're like, that's how Yom Kippur works?
I have an apology in the same vein as you guys, but when you initially posed the question, I thought of it how I interpreted it was quite different. So first I'll do the one that's in alignment with you, and then I'll give the one how I originally thought you meant the question. So if we're doing an apology, not quite an I told you show, but an apology, mine's actually to Dad. Because while Dad has great recommendations, and we all know that, he also watches like a lot of shows that I'm just like, I guess this is the audience that it's for? Like, what?
You mean shows about a scoundrel legal professional in a Britain or a former colony?
Yes. So exactly that. But after like years of him talking about Rake, I finally started watching it. And I'm like, oh wait, the show actually is really good. I feel bad for just being so like, okay, Dad, go watch your like weird Australian legal dramas. But it's great. So my apology goes to Dad for doubting him, even though he consistently
I don't
has
doubt
great
Dad.
recommendations.
I watched Foyle's War. I loved it.
Yeah, he consistently has great recommendations, and I feel bad that I doubted him for so many years, but I finally watched it. It's a great show. But the way I originally thought of the question was, when we say to apologize and to atone, is for being so mean or negative in our reviews of something. And so while I don't take back my poor review of this film, I do want to apologize for being perhaps excessively harsh to the filmmaker and actors.
Is this for Palm Springs?
Oh no, no, not that. Oh, but that's a great one.
You were talking about Palm Springs too.
Sure, Palm Springs.
Like, she needs to apologize to Sandberg, who's definitely waiting for your apology.
And also Triple Frontier. So,
that movie deserves all.
No, but I'm saying like we're supposed to atone for being.
Oh, so you're just
mean.
like apologizing.
I'm just like apologizing that I was really mean.
You think Triple Frontier should atone for making us lose those 3 hours?
I mean, that's a Netflix atonement.
Netflix
needs to atone for all of its drama action movies.
Fine, let's do that. And I am sorry if I said some things that were, unnecessarily mean or judgmental in my review of Palm Springs.
Yeah, that one.
I do think it's a great movie, but I don't agree with all of the choices it made. I'll leave it there. And I'm sorry if I was mean in my review.
All right. And Lily, do you have any other recommendations? Anything else you're watching? Any shout outs?
I'll say it. I said I wanted to say it again. Life in Pieces is getting me through the hard nights.
We watched it last night. It's such a great show. We're almost done though, so I'm going to be sad.
So good. Come back to me.
Maybe. Becky, what about you? Any recs or shout outs?
The RBG documentary. That's my recommendation. Yeah, big time. And shout out to Sager Family Farm. It's a friend of ours is a beekeeper, and she raises chickens and sheep and all this stuff right here in the East Bay. And a shout out to her because on Rosh Hashana we had her totally outrageously incredible, amazing honey. It is the best honey I've ever had in my entire life. She raises the bees and collects the honey and does all that work herself. So if you live in the Bay Area, look up Sager Family Farm to get, I am not kidding, the best honey of your life. So that's my shout out today. So thank you. Thank you for that delicious. Thank you, Kendall, for the delicious honey that we enjoyed over Rosh Hashana.
I feel like I front loaded my recs and shout outs, so I'll just come back to Lily.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yeah. Yes. quickly, Greyhound, which is on Apple Plus or Apple TV, and that's if you're into like World War II movies and stuff. Tom Hanks wrote it, and he did like it's like I think it's 90 minutes, and it's literally just the action. The movie begins. There's like a 2-second scene with him and Elizabeth Shue where he's like, "I love you. I have to go on the ship. Bye bye," and then it's just the action on the ship. I just feel like he literally was like, "Guys, let's make a movie where just the action parts happen," and then at the end of the movie, he like takes a nap. Like he like, goes to bed and he's like done. And so, based on like true stories about these destroyer ships in World War II who have to cross the section of the Atlantic where they don't have any air coverage to protect them from the U-boats, the submarines. And so, I'm not into movies like that, and I was pretty captivated. So I recommend that, and it's a short movie. And then I said The Girls, and the only like Dad has stayed up for a movie, that and The Gentleman, in the 6 months that he's been at my house. He has not been able to stay up through a single movie. The only other thing that Dad has sat on the couch till the wee hours while I'm like pumping and also staying up with the baby and stuff is Bosch. We have
because Bosch is
I
awesome.
love Bosch.
And Dad's
Oh my
already
God.
seen Bosch. Bosch is a great show.
Mom and Dad have both already seen it, and they both stay up enthralled in the mystery.
Yeah, because it's a
don't
great
know what's
show.
Gonna happen, but they've seen it.
Yeah, but it's hard to remember the mystery. All you remember is like Bosch gets his man, but the rest of it's very vague.
And then Jose is like super into it too. So I was like, wow, Shai, you have concocted the like perfect show recommendation for this crew.
Shai, give us one of your taglines. Give us one of your made up Bosch taglines. Hard boiled top cracking skulls.
On the streets of Los Angeles, one cop drinks his coffee without any cream or sugar. Bosch.
Shai likes to just call me or text me.
Fake Bosch
taglines. Bosch tagline. Even though I don't watch the show.
We were talking about something completely like not related to television. And we were like, yeah, and so like, didn't call back or something. And Costa was like, oh, that's such a Bosch move. Just not to call back. That's like real Bosch. I was like, you mean the show? Like the detective? He's like, yeah. And I was like, wow, you have a new anti-hero. So thank you, Shai, because we've plowed through like 4 episodes a night.
So have you finished the first season yet?
I think we're about to finish the first season. We have an episode left, and we've also plowed through the Misfits. Another great recommendation.
Oh, right.
Isn't that
a cool show? Isn't that a cool show?
Yeah. But that's just me, Mom, and Costa. Dad would not stand for that, even though it's technically British.
It's pretty.
He would not watch that.
Misfits is pretty cool. We're deep into season 2, which had a moment where I was like, and now it's really good again.
No,
and how great is Ramsey Bolton in that?
Ramsey Bolton is great. Klaus from Umbrella Academy is great.
Allie
the
finds
mom
that guy
from Game of Thrones too.
Yeah. Catelyn Stark is in it.
Yeah,
but Allie finds the guy who plays Klaus from Umbrella Academy, a show I have not seen, but Nathan, the character, she giggles like giddy every time he makes one of his terribly mean jokes. He's laughing.
He's a great actor. I want to see him in more stuff. He's fantastic.
Oh, that's awesome.
So,
well, I'm glad those. I've been stockpiling those good recs for you for a while.
What's the opposite of having to repent, Shai? Because
I mean, I don't know. You get to take your bread back from the tashlich in the water. I don't know. You get like breadcrumbs. That's a very deep Jewish cut for people. You just tweet us if you want that explained. Okay, with that, Lily, where can people follow you?
Chichi, ChiChik Gomez on the Twitter.
And by the way, Stevie Jackson tweeted that she's so glad you're okay.
Oh, I saw that. Thank you, Stevie.
Thank you to anyone who sent us messages about Lily being okay. That A, we're glad you're listening to the podcast, and B, we're really grateful for your good wishes.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And Becky
Still in recovery, but getting less anemic every day.
At Paper BK Princess on Twitter.
And you can follow me at Pancake4Table on Twitter and Instagram on Twitter and Instagram. And you can follow all the Friday Night Movie shenanigans at Fry Night Movie on Instagram and Twitter and FridayNightMoviePod.com. if you are looking for awesome, important causes to support, in addition to the National Council on Jewish Women, which I mentioned earlier, and Bast Kids or Base Kids, BASKIDS.org, which I mentioned on the last show. We also every week talk about the NAACP's Legal Defense Fund and the Equal Justice Initiative as hugely important organizations that you should check out. Look about supporting them. Our theme song is by What Does It Eat? It will kick in now. Check out our music on Spotify and iTunes. And with that, we will dance our way into the night. Bye.
Bye. Love you.
And now just let me do one last bit with you guys before you go, because I really need to show you this Zendaya thing that is the reason, Zendaya is an extremely talented person, and this is the first thing that I always end up thinking about.
Zendaya is Michi.
It's Zendaya. Becky was right.
James is Kwangi.
Sure.
What is this?
Danny Duffy, Joe is Dorgo.
What is this?
Don't keep.
I have no idea what this is.
And Zendaya is Michi.
Hey, it's characters from
Abominable, some movie.
no Smallfoot.
Zendaya is Michi.
This was just like a viral bit a long time. Look at this, 1 million views. I don't know what this is.
Oh my god, this is amazing.
There's
Yes.
This is like
Yes.
one of the things that you just say, well, like the internet does have a good purpose. Whoa,
Wait, I
how
need-
many copycats are there?
Yeah, no. This was like Smallfoot, not Abominable.
It's Smallfoot. It says it on the posters.
I mean, how many of these movies about they all I don't understand this, but why studios always come out with the same movies over and over again?